The way I work is I begin with an idea. It can be a story somebody tells me, it can be a little snippet of history that I've read, and that sparks the idea that gets the wheels turning. If I Were You in particular, the idea came from a story, a true story that somebody told me about a relative who was a British war bride and had married an American soldier and came over to America and was just about ready to get off the boat and found out that her husband had been killed in a tragic accident. And the twist I gave it was, what if the war bride shows up and she's not really who she says she is? And as I researched that time period in England, I discovered how much both wars, World War I and World War II, disrupted the social life in England. Really, before the wars, there were two classes. You were wealthy or you were a servant class. And so this intrigued me, and I began to create my characters and this manor house where Audrey is the wealthy young woman of the manor house and Eve is her servant. And they become very unlikely friends. So the novel begins in 1950, after the end of the war. And Audrey, now a widow, goes to visit her in-laws in America. When she arrives, she's very surprised to find that her best friend, Eve Dawson, has been impersonating her for the last 5 years. And the title, If I Were You, plays off of their rivalry because there's things that Eve envies in Audrey. Of course, the wealth, the whole fact that she could go on in life to become something. And Audrey always envied Eve. She envied the warmth and the love and the family that Eve had. And I'm hoping that readers will see in Eve and Audrey's journey a little bit of their journey, and that they'll be brave enough to let the events of their life, I mean, Eve and Audrey went through a world war, which was, hopefully none of us will ever have to go through that. But it's sometimes those hard events in our life, those things we wished had never happened, that's where we grow, and that's where we stretch, and that's where we find out what God would have us do and to be.